Welcome to Black Man Spy, U.S.-Iran Warcast, day 49, I guess. I can't keep track of the days. It is also day 8 of the ceasefire that's supposed to expire next week, next Wednesday. But we'll see about that based on whatever's happening out there. I actually got some sleep yesterday. I actually had to get therapy for my slip in Nook, Greenland. Jacob might
Did
remember
you
that.
slip?
Yeah,
Did-
you remember when I fell and I had to get ibuprofen and, it was a big thing.
But
I
hey,
just
man,
slipped on ice.
you were also
I just
walking
slipped on
around with those ice things underneath
ice
your
cleats. The one
ice cleats.
night I didn't wear ice cleats to go across the street from the HHE Express to the chicken store.
Yeah,
I slipped
yeah.
on ice. So
That's
anyway,
when.
I'm 100% better now. Now I'm awesome. That being said, first, let me introduce everybody to you. Jacob Kaarsbo, Danish intelligence officer extraordinaire, Middle East expert with field experience, which is what we like here. We're all field practitioners in the Middle East and South Asia. And our geopolitical and cultural analyst for Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states is Wajeeh, the gay lion, reporting Hadir. So, reporting from the deep wilds of Minneapolis, Minnesota, where everyone reports when you're talking about the Gulf states. That being said, gentlemen, let's see those coffee cups today. I'm not sporting anything. What do you got there, Jacob? What's it say?
This is the War Museum from Dnipro, as I'll be
The
in
Dnipro, yeah.
next week.
And look at this, man. Why'd you sporting a Yeti cup? What are they paying you? They're paying you to advertise.
I never lose the cup, so it's in orange.
Okay. Today I am sporting the generic white cup of surrender for Donald Trump and the negotiations that are going on in Pakistan, because he may as well be surrendering. That being said,
Malcolm, before we
let's start off.
I
wait,
have
we
an
have to
important
start.
announcement.
Yeah?
Because my country, Denmark, has been busted. We've been
shit,
busted
again?
completely, and that's what's here behind me. And I'll just read it out loud because it's really important to understand that all this business in Iran, the
good.
whole war, is actually Denmark's fault. Here we go. The Iran war is being orchestrated behind the scenes by Denmark to distract Trump from seizing Greenland and increase the price of petroleum and thus plastic to make Lego more expensive and siphon Americans' wealth via man-children buying toys. Why do you think Iranians are using Lego in their propaganda? It's a dog whistle.
Who put that up there? Who wrote that?
Clara, someone.
Okay. I knew it. I knew it. Denmark again.
We thought we had done it, and now we're busted completely.
But you got away with it, and you didn't. I see how that goes. Well,
No.
I knew it. I knew Danes had to be in there somewhere. Well,
it's all your fault.
That's why I started blaming the Norwegians, because they didn't give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. So that was actually a diversion, but I didn't succeed. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. All right. I knew that Denmark wasn't getting all this money just with Legos and Hans Christian Andersen museum tickets, which are astronomical. And you don't even tell everybody you got to drive halfway across Denmark, paying $50 tolls on a short bridge to get over there. But that's okay. Thanks for telling us, because now your sinister plot has been exposed. The Danes are been caught for what they are, which is sneaky Lego wielding and cooperating with the IRGC. I just find that despicable. But those Lego videos are sure good. Oh my God. Next thing you know, there'll be a Little Mermaid video. I see how it is. So thank you. Thank you for at least confessing your complicity in the war.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And Maersk must be making bank, man. They must be making big dollars not shipping anything anywhere, right? So there's a conspiracy in there somewhere. Okay, well, wow, let's get to today's significant. Oh, first off, oil and casualties. Wajeeh.
You got it. All right, we'll start with Lebanon. I did a detailed one this time. We have 2,196 plus people killed, 7,185 people injured. Uh, Majority of these people from Hezbollah, according to statistics. But there is a good number of children, 173
Hezbollah or
children.
Shia Muslims? There's a big difference.
Yes, I agree. But they're putting them all together. Unfortunately, in Hezbollah, in Shi'i, they're putting him under Hezbollah. And there's another point I need to talk about with the negotiation in Lebanon regarding the peace talks, because
Right.
they're not even sitting down with the right people. Let's talk about that later. Israel theater. They have 2,503 people injured and approximately 35 people killed. Uh, 21 of them civilian, 14 of them are IDF.
Okay.
We have Iran, where we have 3,375 to 3,400 approximately dead at the moment. We still have no idea of a good approximation for the injured, because they're still uh, counting and helping people out. And a good chunk of those, half of those people that were attacked were civilians, and the other half is IRGC.
Okay. All right.
And then you got the United States, 13, 14 people killed, more than 300 injured, according to the Pentagon. Iran, you have about 117 kills, UAE, 12, Saudi Arabia, 3, Bahrain, 3, Oman, 3.
Okay.
And then you
All right.
have the gas, right?
Oil.
All right,
Oil.
let's do this. Oil for the U.S. is kind of Trump's manipulation is showing. I was talking to Malcolm about this morning. Maybe he would like to comment about it.
I see. Yeah, there is manipulation going on. We're going to talk about that under significant activities, because it is very clear that the price of oil has collapsed based on some of the comments Trump made yesterday. And boy, are they doozies. I mean, they are doozies. We'll get around to that. I have the video for you here shortly, but oil has taken a big dip based on the ceasefire in Lebanon, the 10-day ceasefire, which is a component now of the whole war. So that is why we're seeing these changes. Okay. So West Texas Intermediate's down to 85. Wow. Just 30 minutes ago it was at 88. So people are starting to feel like the beginning of the end of this thing is coming. Still a good amount of money. Brent North Sea crude at $90. So it's the market has been redonkulously optimistic. Let's just be honest. And that's where people are getting away with insider trade or murder, because they're using what Trump says with great optimism. And for the last 49 days, everything Trump said really appeared to manipulate the market. It was never, a lot of things were just not grounded in any reality. And we're going to talk about one of those comments that he made recently. So Okay, great. Thank you for the oil report and the casualty report. Okay, starting off on significant
Just a little
activities.
note here,
Oh, yeah.
Malcolm, just so people are aware of the big difference in the futures price and the actual price. We've talked about it before, but that I think that difference is becoming greater and greater, but it's because the futures price is only up to June or something. And then because of all that Trump is saying, they anticipate it will happen. The market sees that there's no movement, no great movement on the fundamentals, and that's why the spot price is staying high.
Yeah. I'm showing right now physical oil dropped from a high of 166. It's still down to 116.
Okay.
But that could fluctuate on a minute-to-minute basis, a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis. So, don't be optimistic. The key thing is your gasoline prices aren't changing anytime soon. I've got a report on that. You're going to be all of you are just going to be unhappy. Okay, that being said, right now, the significant activities are Donald Trump made a series of statements yesterday that the only way to put it is that it appears that he is either divulging negotiations or he is lying. Now, you have to base that on his past track record. There have been several times in the last 8 weeks that we've been at this war, however long it has, 7 weeks, that Donald Trump has literally made up maximalist comments in order to manipulate the market and to try to squeeze Iran into a negotiating position. When I speak to Michael Cohen, I used to have a show where we would go on with Michael Cohen and Lev Parnas every week. These were two guys who knew him personally. And they say that was his MO, right? His MO was to lie you into a negotiating position in which he would claim you said something. And today's, let me bring up my bookmarks, comment is this one that I'm going to play right now, which is about uranium. Yesterday, coming from the helicopter, Trump made a comment essentially that, which, if true, is just earth shattering. The problem is he's a pathological liar. And this is clearly one of those maximalist positions that if Iran did this, what he's claiming, this war would be over, right? But, Donald Trump. So let's listen to it.
Very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bombers. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Let me play that part again.
They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bombers. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's...
They have agreed to give us back the nuclear dust, which is way underground in Iran. So he made two insanely maximalist statements yesterday that I have spent the last 3 hours going over every major news organization, going over everybody. The only thing that I can get out of this is that Donald Trump says. And The Guardian, in their analysis this morning of this, on this, is, they're asking, what the hell is Trump talking about nuclear dust? Okay, there's the headline from The Guardian, the latest war update. Trump, what is nuclear dust? Donald Trump claims Iran agreed to return buried uranium after U.S. strikes, but what's the term mean? Apparently, it doesn't mean a damn thing. No one has ever used this term except Donald Trump. Has it in his mind that this uranium, which is not a dust, okay? Maybe he's talking about yellow cake. I've got a long history with this, way back when they were outing Valerie Plame and were trying Libya. It was trying in Iraq. We're trying to buy yellow cake, which is a dust. It's a powder, which has to be actually uh, compressed, and then it has to be enriched and turned into a metal, right? I mean, into uranium metal. So whatever he's talking about, no one seems to understand it. But by saying this, which are two major statements, one, Iran has agreed to give up their entire nuclear program. That's what the man said. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Let's listen to that statement again, just in case we are all knucking futs and Donald Trump is absolutely right, right? Likelihood of that is zero.
Very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Okay, they've agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. This is where culture and a lack of cultural intelligence comes in. One, Iran a long time ago made the statement that they have an Islamic ruling, that there's a fatwa against the development of nuclear weapons, right?
Exactly.
And maybe that is what people in Pakistan who are talking to him, because that cartoon we showed yesterday of Sharif at a long table walking back and forth between Trump and Mujtaba Khamenei, that's accurate. But you even saw in the cartoon that the Musharraf character would mischaracterize and reframe the verbology. And so by using that statement that was made by the Ayatollah Khamenei, the dead one, long ago, that in Shia Islam, they cannot develop a weapon of mass destruction. Now, that could be a religious statement, but that doesn't mean that it does not, that they won't get 99.9% up to building a nuclear weapon, and that putting it together is only, to launch it in a missile is the last step they would have to get a new fatwa for. I don't know. But Trump has got it into his head now. And I think part of the problem is in these negotiations is that the Iranians are saying one thing, and Trump is just refusing to believe it and is believing the interpretation that's between here and here. And both of those interpretations go like this. All right? They're screwy. The Pakistanis are saying there's nothing like that. Okay? The Iranians are saying we don't know what he's talking about. But Trump is saying it, and now the market drops $10 a barrel on oil, which means someone's going to be buying those oil futures. And I'm looking at you, Baron Trump, and Scott Bessett, and all the rest of his insider cronies are going to be buying up oil futures like nobody's business. If oil was to drop back to normal levels, okay, normal levels, they could be selling oil right now, okay, for $25 more than it was before this war started. So they're still making bank. So that is an amazing statement by Trump. But I don't see any evidence of it. Jacob, Wajeeh, what do you guys think?
No evidence whatsoever. And this whole premise of Donald Trump is false because, as you rightly pointed out, there was a fatwa issued by Khamenei. Khamenei has now been killed. So that actually releases the Iranian leadership from that fatwa, and they might well go back on it anyway. But this whole premise, Trump has said this on so many occasions that enrichment means nuclear weapon. And
Right.
we can enrich uranium in Denmark easily. It doesn't mean a nuclear weapon, but it's another one of Trump's falsehoods. And
But in his mind,
The Iranians
and
here's what the Iranians have agreed to. They said we will dilute the enriched uranium, but we are not taking that uranium out of our country. That's what they have agreed to. Trump is saying is no, they have decided to give all the uranium up to us. There is a game when I was growing up in Saudi Arabia called Telefon Kharban,
yeah, of
a
course,
broken telephone.
Mhm.
Yes. Where usually the problem happens between the messengers. The problem here is not the messengers, it's Trump himself. He is the messenger between himself and and he's changing the scenarios in his head. And he's like, oh yeah, the Iranians have agreed to open the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians like, what the hell are you talking about? We never agreed to it. It was like, oh, the Iranians have agreed that we will have a venture. I was like, we ain't giving you a penny. The Iranians, okay, we will have a blockade. The Iranians ain't giving me a penny. I will have a blockade. I will show you I will choke your economy. So,
Okay.
bah.
This is what I think he's talking about. If you can see that picture back there. This is called yellow cake, uranium oxide. This is what happens when you take the raw uranium ore and you process it and you turn it into this fine powder, which is radioactive, okay? But it is not high radioactivity. We had this discussion way back when with George W. Bush, Valerie Plame, and her husband, Ambassador Joe Wilson, when Iraq was allegedly trying to get yellow cake. And everybody was like, yeah, but that's ore that's just been processed into this powder, and it is not uranium 239 enriched to 90% that would create a bomb. It is not plutonium. It is not a weapon. It's someday I might make, X-ray machine material, or I might use it in chemo. Or, yes, it's radioactivity, but it's very low radioactivity. And I think that somebody has explained the IA, Los Alamos people have come in there and they explain the process. And the only thing that he can remember is powder, dust, right? Because it's gold color, right? So to him, it looks like it's gold dust, right? I don't
spray
know.
it all over the Oval Office.
And it's and he's like, oh my God, we can get the yellow dust. You know what? If I were Iran, I would offer to give him the yellow cake. Because the yellow cake is also buried down there, right, at the Natanz and Fordow facility, because that's what they were using to turn into enriched into uranium. And as you said, enriching uranium, which they did on the centrifuges under the JCPOA with President Obama, they agreed to enrich uranium to 3.5%. Which is what you use for nuclear power. And then when Trump tore up the JCPOA agreement, they were like, fuck it, we can make it to any grade we want. Let's make it to weapons grade, which is 90%. And they got as far as 60%. Trump did this. Trump did that. Everything related to Iran's nuclear program, Obama managed. I remember when they had 200 tons of yellow cake and other materials were transferred to Moscow as part of the JCPOA.
Yeah.
And now Trump's talking about maybe Netanyahu and everybody else is talking about the 460 kilograms of uranium ore, not uranium ore, of of uranium metal that has been enhanced to 60%, right?
Yeah.
And he's talking about yellow cake. And that would be fine. The problem is the Iranians go, yeah, sure, we give you this. No problem. I don't even think it's a misinterpretation. Again, it's whatever is in his mind becomes the truth. And he thinks that he's going to hustle the Iranians on this point. You know,
Yeah.
somebody here has a more accurate representation of what Trump is after. And there he is, doing accountability of the yellow cake. So, I mean, it's just as accurate as anything coming out of the White House. Because we all know Matt DeGroening and The Simpsons has predicted way, way, way more accurately the future than any political analyst out there. Well, I'm just waiting for Lisa Simpson to become the next president to help put an end to this tragedy. So that's it. That's all I got on that.
Can I ask you a question? What
Yeah.
what what would it take for a government like Iraq or Iran to take a yellow cake and convert it to a dirty bomb?
No. Okay. First off, a dirty bomb's actual lethality
Hmm.
is the explosive charge that blows up. Okay? You don't
Okay.
go and get yellow cake for that stupid shit. It's just yellow powder. It doesn't have a high level of radioactivity, right? It has less radioactivity than the uranium or their isotopes, the uranium isotopes that are used in X-ray machines at your dentist. Right? And you notice they put on a lead shield, right? Because
Hmm.
repeated exposure of small amounts of highly intense radioactivity. So, uh, full disclosure, I had a guy in my upstate New York was a neighbor who actually created a directed assassination weapon using using radioactive isotopes from X-ray machines, and he had
Wow.
acquired enough of it legally because it's not controlled to actually put it in a shielded tube and was going to take it to people's houses, open the shielding, and as they slept all night, give them radiation poisoning. Okay? But that's not what we're talking about. You could do that with anything. Iodine. I mean, you could put that stuff in there and then all it would do is explode and then it would contaminate an area. What they're talking about, a dirty bomb, is like an enormous amount of radioactive material. But like 5-6 pounds. Why would you waste 60% enriched uranium for an explosive device in which the explosive is the actual most lethal part of it? Right? It's ridiculous. Yeah, Jake. Oh,
Wow.
you
Me?
guys got
No,
yeah, I
I
thought
was.
you had a comment. All right.
No. It's I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, just ridiculous. So that being said,
It's just a common question. I thought people need to hear an answer for.
yeah, okay, that's great. Okay, I'm going through all of the big things today, and we will go to the block. Oh, the second significant activity is finally, Lebanon, the United States, and Israel have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire in southern Lebanon. And apparently, the United States sort of strong armed Israel into this so that the overall peace negotiations that are going on in Islamabad can move forward. This is a concession. And I think it's a good concession that Israel has finally made it. But you know how Israel is. I have operated around, near, and with the Israelis. And if I'll tell you one thing, all this means is they are now going to bring up more tanks, more artillery, more lethal weapons, and they're just going to spring themselves so that the ninth day, 2,300 hours, right, 11 p.m. at the what we call 23:59 local, 1 minute before it expires, they are going to launch like a freaking ginormous panther on top of Lebanon. And before anyone can say a word like, hey, let's extend the ceasefire, they will be out savaging everything, taking villages and destroying and leveling the earth. I'm sorry, that is just the MO of the Israelis. I've seen it every day since 1982. That is now their the way that they do business is they are an offensive force. They are not a defensive force anymore. Their defense is to have a murderous offense and to break ceasefires, but they generally break them by like an hour or 30 minutes or something like that. So we shall see about that. So this is another reason why the market is responding. Oil is going down. Next significant activity is yes, you have a question,
A
Mr.
couple of comments.
Expert on that.
Wajeeh, you had also something on Lebanon. You go first. I have something too.
Me?
Don't you?
No, I don't have any.
No, just on Lebanon. The crucial thing here is the Lebanese are starting to return to South Lebanon. Israel wants to stay in the areas that they have that they have taken over, basically in South Lebanon. The defense minister has stated that this afternoon. And it's the government that the U.S. and Israel are dealing with, and not Hezbollah. So let's see what really happens, because the government of Lebanon cannot afford to really enter into this as long as Israel maintains that it wants to keep its presence in what they call the security zone in southern Lebanon.
I saw a comment that from the ambassador of Lebanon, and it was sort of an offhand comment that the Lebanese army will be strengthened. This sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
We tried this
Yeah.
in Lebanon for a very long time. When I was there and when I was 20 years old, when I first got to Beirut, this was an assurance that the Reagan White House had given to the Lebanese. They sent over a shitload of armored M113 personnel carriers, and that the Lebanese army was going to be strengthened enough and supported by the United States. And it happened within 3 months of my arriving in Beirut. We were bombarding Lebanese, Druze, Amal, and other militias, Palestinian militias around Beirut, as the Lebanese army made these giant offensives into Beirut, especially Souk al-Garb. That was a big area. We even got the Lebanese Air Force that had flying for the first time since 1967. And we have this fantasy that we are going to give the Lebanese army, which is mainly mainly Christian and some others, to go in there and give them enough fighting capacity to beat Hezbollah and to operate as a co-joined twin, which, by the way, this happened. It was called the Army of Southern Lebanon, Christian villages that created a militia that fought on the side of Israel, who were wiped out, and all of them were forced to emigrate into Israel. I met them every time I go to Israel. There's lots of these ASL guys that are there. It didn't work. Now I suspect Trump is planning to put the full weight of the United States behind a new Lebanese army. So be prepared to hear an initiative where, like, the United States transfers 100 Bradleys to Lebanon with new trainers, special forces, U.S. trainers to train the Lebanese army to take on Hezbollah. What do you think, Wash?
I think that Israel has taken very good advantage of negotiating with the with the team that is most supportive for the Israeli government, and it's playing out. Um, Let me explain to you. It's playing out for Israel. It's not playing out for the Lebanese. The Lebanese government, when it was established after France was leaving, into three branches: the prime minister, president, and the parliament. The president is Christian. The Speaker of the Parliament is Shi'i. The Prime Minister is Sunni. Now, if you wanted to sit down and have a conversation with the Hezbollah, not even directly, you would sit down with the Speaker of the House. You wouldn't sit down with the President. The President, Michel Aoun, and his party are already pro-Israel. Michel Aoun already wants to have established relationship with Israel. That is already cleared
Dude,
out.
the Aoun family has been doing this since I was a teenager. Okay, that's 50 years. I mean, they are essentially a branch. You know, they have. When I was in Beirut, the first day I was in Beirut, Lebanon, which was April 18th, 1983. The first thing I saw was an Israeli Devora class patrol boat bringing Aounist militia from a meeting in Tyre past Beirut up to Junia. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a deep old relationship. The Lebanese Christians, they want this with Israel. The problem is there's this whole Hezbollah Muslim thing in between them. And if they can have that, this is why I warn, and I said this on Mariel Noafal's show, the Israeli prospects of making a stable Lebanon are very poor. But they could capitalize on all of this if there was a civil war again.
Yeah, but the thing is, the terrible thing is, what is in Bibi's mind is the need to keep Lebanon weak. So he doesn't want a strong state, and he doesn't want to be a part to build a strong state that can function properly. So he's actually nurturing all these factions to keep the Lebanese state weak. And we are not going to see Israel engage to do something constructive that can enable, a unitary state. Unfortunately, that's my take. So that's also part of the problem. But guys, I have to run now because I have to catch a ferry.
Okay.
To
But
go to Jutland.
before you go, I want to
to
hit you with
Yeah.
today's Don Zhu. Don Zhu says,
Ah,
the more wars you start, the more peace agreements you can sign.
genius.
All right. Impeccable
Oh, yeah.
logic. Thank you, Jacob.
That's clever. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
All right. Wajeeh, it's just us. And I have a statement here from the foreign minister of Iran that came out at 8:45 a.m. this morning. What is that, about 45 minutes ago? 40 minutes ago. In line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, says Syed Abbas Arachi, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. On the coordinated route as already announced by the Ports and Maritime Organization of the Iranian Republic of Iran, aka the multi-pass route. You can now, Strait of Hormuz is open. All of you can come. Welcome. Welcome. You can come to the Strait of Hormuz all you want. It's cleared now, guys. It's cleared so long as you use this route, which is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps multipass. Welcome. All are welcome to come. Start here in Oman in the Northern Traffic Separation Scheme. Go up between Hormuz and Larak Island, then come down, subject to inspection by the IRGC. Then come down and halas, you can go wherever you wish. And if you want to go out, halas, no problem. Come up through the new traffic separation scheme. Come to Larak Island. Let our IRGC small boat captains inspect you, give you wave, make sure you pay $2 million. Halas. and then you can go out as you please, wide open. Just don't go through the old traffic separation scheme. Maybe, I don't know. It's possible. It is full of mines. I wouldn't know. So, that is what Foreign Minister Arachi has just announced. Iran is declaring the SOH open. All of you, just come this way. Don't worry about credit card. We know your ship number. Just multipass. We take Trump coin. Don't forget, they take Trump coin.
I don't know how Trump is feeling about the Trump coin.
I don't know. All I know is that he's making bank one way or the other. The Iranians are paying him. Everyone is paying him. So Strait of Hormuz is open. And now Trump can declare this war over. What is that, like ninth war he's ended? That he ended? Oh, this is some crazy, crazy logic. So this is a chart on how oil dropped last night on the basis of the comments that Trump made. As you can see, it was at 91 the other day, then dropped to 88. And then last night, boom, it's dropping down. It's even going lower. 82 is what they're saying it is at as of 43 minutes ago. Who knows? Okay. Oh, there's another Don Zoo here we all need to see. If it opens, take credit. If it closes, blame later. The wisdom of Don Zoo. Oh God, I am willing to write the foreword for that book. This is all public works, and we should all print that. There's one more. Okay, I know we're getting to the end of this. I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to go on to boycott. Okay. In terms of the boycott, Iranian-linked vessels, there has been a third change to the boycott's terms of agreement. First, it was Iranian vessels that were coming from Iranian ports carrying Iranian oil. The next day, they changed it to, no, it's vessels coming from Iranian ports or any Iranian-linked sanctioned vessel coming in and out of any of those Gulf ports. Today, it has changed again. Any Iranian vessel or Iranian-linked vessel or Iranian vessel carrying Iranian oil, even though it is no longer sanctioned, can be seized anywhere in the world. And Trump has made comments that they will keep the oil as a prize, the way that he did after Venezuela. That is not going to go over well at the negotiating table. So don't tell me that this thing is like ready to finish tomorrow. A lot of people are saying that this is ready to finish tomorrow. I don't think it's ready to finish tomorrow. If that's a negotiating tool, Iran can take it. Okay, Iran just stop sending oil out and you all start to suffer, especially you, Pakistan, especially you, Iran. I mean, India, you will actually have to start trucking that stuff over by vehicles.
I know.
Okay, the USS George W. Bush or George Herbert Walker Bush or the USS Ford appears to be headed down to the Red Sea. We're seeing advanced reconnaissance aircraft, surveillance leading into the Red Sea. P-8 Poseidon aircraft are going up and down the Red Sea. That means that we are preparing to see what the Houthis are up to, and we may be moving an aircraft carrier into the Red Sea. United States intelligence community assesses that China is preparing to send advanced radars to Iran and may have been preparing to sell or send them advanced surface-to-air missiles. It has not been confirmed. China has denied it, but not in the way Donald Trump says it. He claims that he talked to President Xi. President Xi's office has denied that. The foreign ministry has denied it. They have essentially said, we will sell whoever we want. Radars would be significant, but it really wouldn't help their air defense. The Israelis and us, we will just bull through, destroy those radars, drop bombs, and leave. And of course, the war would be back on. Okay? Okay, deal or no deal. Iran rejected another temporary ceasefire of 14 days. Trump made a comment that he might or he might not. He doesn't know. He would like to, but he's not sure. Have another 14-day extension to the ceasefire. Iran is saying no extensions. Let's get on to the peace negotiations. Rumors of a back channel deal through Pakistan. There are a lot of analysts that are reporting that Pakistan thinks that these back channels over the last few days have gone positively. But then again, we had a lot of talk from the Pakistanis before the last deal negotiations collapsed that they were going very positive and that they were almost stuck on everything except nuclear and the Strait of Hormuz and sanctions and reparations, everything, right? Nothing was agreed to. So be very cynical, right? Be very cautious when you hear these reports of deal, no deal. Rumor intelligence. The Hormuz letter, which has been pretty good source of information, claims that that Ghalibaf, the Speaker of the Iranian House, is claiming that if they keep these threats up on keeping the Strait of Hormuz blockaded, that the Houthis will block the Bab el-Mandab waterway. That's a given, but we shall see how that turns out. Finally, the International Energy Association claims if the war stops today, and this is why you should fill your gas tank. If the war were to stop today, that the markets are underestimating the impact on the loss of product coming out of the Strait of Hormuz, and that they believe, the IEA believes, it will take 2 years to recover back to where the market was on February 27th. 2 years. The knock-on impact of this. And as you know, oil companies, gas companies tend to, price gouge. And even if oil were to drop back down to 67, it would go. Your $5 gas would still be here. Because don't forget, people are coming. Actually, I have a video from Mr. Global that I want to use to explain this to you about why, we said this yesterday, why oil tankers are coming to the United States. And it's not because we're chock full of oil and the world's now buying our oil. No, there is a price competition going on, and America is losing that price competition. So don't believe me. Believe the guy who I think that this guy is just a proven. Every time he has said something was going to happen, it happens. This is Mr. Global. He is a global oil analyst. He does not pull punches when it comes to, the fuckery that surrounds the oil industry. And this is him debunking, if we have 3 minutes, and then we're going to have to skip questions today. I actually have an appointment. And this is him talking about why people are wrong about your gasoline going back down to $2.85. So watch this.
You're just going to hate this. 171 oil tankers are en route to America right now. And so I want you folks to listen to what I'm about to tell you really close, because watching people celebrate these tankers coming to the U.S. is frightening to me. Number one, everyone's saying, oh, they're coming to get oil. Some, but they're mostly coming to get diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline. That's what they're mostly coming to get. That's where we have shortages around the world. Our diesel inventories in the United States are already below the 5-year average. The United States has this chronic problem with exporting too much diesel. This keeps our prices high and drives up inflation. One of the reasons our inflation is so sticky and hard to bring back down to normal levels is because of the amount of diesel we export. It's one of the largest drivers. Diesel prices are one of the largest drivers of inflation, food inflation, just normal goods. And we keep it artificially elevated in the United States to enrich oil companies who sell diesel overseas. And people are lining up to celebrate the fact that we're going to increase diesel exports, the one thing that will not only drive up diesel prices in the United States, but drive up inflation as well. It is the craziest, most batshit crazy shit I've ever seen in my life that people are celebrating this. They're celebrating this while at the same time asking, how does this affect us? We don't get oil from Iran. This is how it affects us. This right here, the thing you're celebrating. Well, why is diesel $1.50 a gallon more than gasoline? Because of this. Do you not understand how anything works at all, ever? Yes, let's increase diesel exports to bigger record amounts. At the same time, fertilizers at record prices, and also we're having massive shortages. What will that happen? What will that do to food prices in 3 or 4 months? I mean, seriously. And when it comes, you'll just blame it on someone else. Every single thing that is happening right now that you are celebrating is only going to take more money out of your pocket. More money for fuel, more money for food, more money for every single thing you buy, and you're celebrating it like we rule the world. Celebrating the fact that you're going broke and you don't even know it. And no, this isn't something you will see in headlines tomorrow or the next day or the next day or even next week. But it will come and you will see it. And for the 1,000th time, you will say, holy shit, he was right. Thanks.
What did I tell you in the last few weeks? The United States has made the petroleum a matter of national security after the 70s. We have been on a downstream in our stockpile, especially when it comes to our national security. I have been preaching this for weeks, and
Mhm.
now someone else is saying exactly what I'm saying. I feel very, very confirmed in what I've been saying because what you need to know is what we are selling, we already have a shortage of. Like, we need it. Like, the truckers that are bringing you food to your grocery stores, the truckers that are bringing you clothes to your mall, the truckers that are bringing you the tires to your car, they are all using diesels. The plane, they're bringing you the mail. They're all using diesel, not air fuel. Sorry, it's different. But everything is being used now with some sort of petroleum. And we're short.
Okay, people, take a pause there. I saw some of the comments that people were making a little bit ago. And oh, okay, I was getting ready to wrap the show up. There's no chance of that happening now. All right. Donald Trump just announced 18 minutes ago while we were talking, the Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business in full passage, but the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. Transaction. This process should go very quickly and that most points are already negotiated. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Fox and Friends is hailing that Strait of Hormuz is completely open. Well, apparently, I jumped the gun on that because that comment that I read to you a few minutes ago by the Speaker of the House, Aranchi, I'm sorry, yes, Foreign Minister Aranchi, was pretty damn clear. The Strait of Hormuz is opened using the Iranian traffic separation scheme as controlled by the IRGC. And Trump's like, halas, no problem, Strait of Hormuz open. This is a maximalist bullshit attempt. The only people that matter here is Iran, right? And if you think that Lloyd's of London's going to go, Donald Trump says Strait of Hormuz is open, blokes, that's a bad English accent. Let's let every ship go through at the pre-war premium rates for insurance. I have a bad feeling that they are not going to be agreeing with this. Okay. And that Trump is once again pulling bullshit. I'm going to read the foreign minister's statement again because apparently everybody has lost their goddamn mind, and they believe now, based on what Trump says, is that the Strait of Hormuz is open, and they're reporting this. I'm reading it from, that was Fox and Friends. So, once Fox and Friends said, let me tell you guys something. I worked at MSNBC for 7 years. I was a contributor. Those people over there, even if it was a lie, I actually had a straight up effing lie manufactured quote about me made up, and MSNBC management believed it. Okay. They are so jealous of Fox News that they will believe anything without analysis. So right now, I'm pretty sure it's 9:57. Morning Joe is over, but other shows are out there saying, yeah, the Strait of Hormuz is open, right? And they've agreed to hand over all their enriched uranium, and they've surrendered, and they're going to apologize to Donald Trump, and they're going to send him a big, giant golden calf. Whatever, okay? These people will say that all the time, right? But according to Iran, the Strait of Hormuz is open. So, Iran, let me just find that quote again. And that was a quote from him. All right. Okay. But now that's being reported, right? President Trump and Iran's foreign minister say the Strait of Hormuz is now fully open. That's what the foreign minister said, right? And I like this analysis. How long you think that's going to last? In line with the ceasefire in Lebanon. I'm going to read it to you. This is from the foreign minister's official X post. The passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. That's 7 days. On the coordinated route, as already announced by the Ports and Maritime Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, how that blah, 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 blah. Okay. There it is. That is the coordinated route. So I'm getting two people saying the same thing. The Strait of Hormuz is open, and I'm hearing people believe that it is back to February 27th. And I'm not getting that from Iran, and Iran controls this story. So I look forward to seeing this clarified today, and you'll find out that Trump has once again manipulated the market and that this is going to collapse. He took the foreign minister's statement of it is open and stopped reading the rest of his statement after that. Yeah. I read it. Seemed pretty clear to me. That was the statement that he claims went forward. So, halas, as they say in Arabic. Wajeeh, any last comments you'd like to make today?
No. Just you covered everything. I'm lost of words. I thought I have heard everything. Yeah, I keep getting asked, "Do you see this war getting being done anytime soon?" And my answer is no. The
Yeah,
war
and
is
you
not over anytime soon.
have to define war, right? By the way, if you guys wondering what I'm doing, I'm going to Al Jazeera. Okay. And let's see how the Gulf states are interpreting this. I think that there are really two entirely different things happening here. And Trump has glommed on to all these things that he thinks are negotiated. And I suspect what has happened, but no ships are going through that area. Here's another thing. One last thing. Does this mean Trump, Iran for? See, somebody just said that. Todd Barry, Jinx, all of you guys said that. I read you the foreign minister's comment. The strait is open, according to Who the hell are my neighbors? My neighbors for what? According to the foreign minister, it's open if you are using the Iranian traffic separation scheme, according to the IRGC, subject to inspection and the multi-pass payment, as previously announced. So the words open are pretty, is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, you know? So, all right, that's enough for today. Tomorrow will be a different day. Listen, tomorrow's also the weekend, and as you saw yesterday with that incident that we had with the the former lieutenant governor of Virginia having a stress-related suicide event. Go touch grass, people. Don't doom scroll looking for this today. We will take it up. I'm up all day. I get up at 3 a.m. That's why I have these black bags under my eyes. And we will give you a clearer analysis of what's going on. And you'll see. We shall see. But I think that Donald Trump is building his own off-ramp. And as he deliberately misinterprets things and makes it look, he's going to announce the strait is open because the blockade forced Iran to go to their knees and worship at the altar of Trump. And now they're ready to surrender everything and pay him cash. All right. We all know that that's not true, but that's what he's going to say. And if that fantasy off ramp needs to be what he needs to end this war, I'm willing to let him have it. The problem is the war could quickly start up again. All right. Wajeeh, see you tomorrow.
I have I have my Middle East Q&A after this. And if you
What?
want to come and join, it's open for public today.
Great. All right. Thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to come over to malcolmnance.substack.com. And I will have better lighting, but today is a beautiful sunny day in Montreal. I'm going for a run, as you can see. I already got my running clothes on. It's going to be awesome. I got my Mogadishu Mile t-shirt on, so I can go out and hit the road, get worked up for this year's Mogadishu Mile. So thanks for coming today, guys. See you all tomorrow. We'll take questions tomorrow. Save your questions. Take care. Have a nice day.
Have a good one.